All right. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Well, that was fabulous.
Shalom.
Well, that was
Hello.
fabulous. You know, the whole time, Cantor Peicott. Well, first of all, my name is David Eshel. I'm one of our rabbis here at Wilshire Boulevard Temple. And I am so happy to be, wait, darn it. I'm pointing this way, but it's going the wrong way. Nope, this way. Right over here with Cantor Peicott. This is so exciting to be here.
Everyone.
For Celebration Shabbat. And the whole time I was thinking, wow, Cantor Peicott, how did you edit all of that together, getting all of those fabulous singers to sing together? What were they listening to when they're singing?
So when we do it, we make like a practice track for them. So I have the musicians make a track, and then I sing to the track, and I send that to all of the students. They then have to record their vocals, but listening to the headphones of me singing. So I just have their raw vocals. And then we mix the sound all together. And then I cannot take credit for the editing. We have an amazing communications department that helped with all of the editing of the videos. But this pandemic has taught me a lot about how to make videos and how to do sound. So amazing. I am thankful that I now know how to do that. And I'm grateful to have found a way to still include our amazing youth choir, because they're such a staple of Celebration Shabbat, and they will be a staple moving forward, but we still get to hear their beautiful voices for our Celebration Shabbat service.
I love that. That we should just have a Shabbat to celebrate that, because that's amazing. Listen to us, like Marabu Masech Adonai. How wondrous are your creations there, right? Definitely a little bracha for that. That was beautiful. So thank you for putting that together and working with our beautiful, beautiful singers, our young singers. It's awesome. I always appreciate that. Appreciate you. Anyway, again, welcome everybody to Celebration Shabbat. We have a lot to celebrate and a lot of wonderful people to celebrate, a lot of things to celebrate. Speaking of celebrate, we have somebody here who is going to be joining us in just a second to help us with the lighting of our candles, Kiddush and Motzi. That would be none other than Maddie Bobear and the Bobear family. Why? Because Maddie, coming bat mitzvah tomorrow, very, very excited. Let's welcome in Maddie and her family. Yes.
Maddie.
Let's unmute them. Boom. Oh, are we unmuted? Can we unmute them?
Can you unmute yourself, Maddie? Hi, Maddie.
Maddie, unmute yourself.
Hi.
There it is.
There she is.
I love it.
Shabbat Shalom, Maddie. How you doing? How you feeling? Are you ready for tomorrow? I am ready to watch you shine tomorrow. You're feeling good? Feeling ready?
Yeah.
I love it.
She wrote a fabulous Devar Torah. It's a fabulous teaching. She wrote a fabulous Devar Torah. I'm very excited.
She chants her Torah and her Haftarah fabulously as well. So
no
her
surprise.
Family and friends are in for a treat. That is for sure. So Maddie, I invite you to join me in lighting our Shabbat candles, and to all of you at home as we bring in the light of Shabbat together. We bring in that light 3 times. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to join together in our Kiddush as we sanctify this special time in our week together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uv'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh זכר יציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. לחיים.
לחיים.
Last but not least, we have our beautiful challah. Maddie, let's see what you're working with. What kind of challah are we working with tonight? Earlier she said it was just plain. We asked her if it was chocolate chip. We asked her if it had raisins. She said no, just plain. A beautiful plain challah. She's a purist. She's a pure challah purist. Okay, we join together in the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'te'avon and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Maddie, Mazel Tov.
Can't wait to see you tomorrow. It's going to be awesome.
Enjoy your time with your family. Mazel Tov to everyone. Lisa, David, Mazel Tov. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Enjoy the chicken.
Enjoy the Shabbos chicken.
You know, Lisa, Jason has a song about that. Did you know that? In this, they every Friday night we eat chicken. There's a whole song. He's got a whole song about that.
I didn't know that, but it's true.
Yeah.
When you think of Shabbat, you think of that chicken.
Think of that chicken. Yeah.
I like it. I gotta look that one up. I'm at Jason Meshes. I'm gonna look that one up. So we're going to continue to welcome in our Shabbat time together by welcoming in those Shabbat angels to join our virtual community and to bless our gathering. We're told by our rabbis that these angels visit us, and if they see that we have a Shabbat filled with love and friendship and community, the angels look to each other and say, may every Shabbat be as beautiful for all of us. So we continue with the words of Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leShalom, malachei Hashalom, malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Malachei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. You know, Cantor Peicott, I don't know if you had a chance to look at all at the comments. So earlier, Cantor Peicott and I were talking about just offline a second ago how this morning she had the opportunity to share Shabbat services with a congregation in South Africa with Rabbi Stan Davids here, one of our fabulous Rabbi Stan Davids too. So they had and that coming up soon. I'm going to have an opportunity with my mentor Rabbi Don Gore to share some words at his one of his pulpits in Milan. Where we get to, so this just having this technology is really just so special and wonderful. And if you see on the chat, we have people joining us for Shabbat tonight from Elkins Park, Pennsylvania. We have people joining us from Mission Viejo. We have people joining us from Scottsdale. We even have people joining us from Beverlywood. We have people, right? Rabbi Joel's in Beverlywood. We have Washington, D.C. I mean, look at this. This is fantastic, right? We have this opportunity. With the situation being what it is what it is. So what are we going to do with it? And we have this opportunity to really share. And I love that. And I love sharing this with all this extended Wilshire Boulevard Temple family. This is so beautiful. So with that, now we're going to move into Lecha Dodi as we welcome in the Sabbath bride.
We're going to be singing verses 1, 2, and then we'll all rise together at the end to greet Shabbat with open arms and an open heart. Yalla la 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 lecha dodi, yalla la 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 likrat kala, yalla la 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 b'nei Shabbat lekah.
All right, beautiful. So, okay. So this past week, when I had an opportunity to spend some time with our teens on our Wednesday night program with our teens, we played this game. Um, it's a meme game or something like that, where it says, well, it's like, tell me something that you are without telling me that you are that. Like, tell me that you're Jewish without telling me that you're Jewish, or something like that. Tell me that you're Jewish without telling me that you're Jewish. So one kid was like, grabbed a piece of bread and said, Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. So, or, oh, there's somebody at the door, and the person brought their computer with them, and when they opened their door, they said, they saw that there was the mezuzah, and they said, oh, must have been Elijah. I don't know, maybe it was Elijah. So there you see is like this game kind of thing. So when I did that just now, the thing on my computer, the name that I will not mention, that ask when you ask for help, comes up on the screen. So I said something that made the thing come up on the screen, but I'm not going to say that again. Anyway, so let me ask you this, Cantor Peicott, I'm going to put you on the spot, and then everybody else out there too. If you can even put it in the chat. How do you tell me that you're ready to pray without telling me that you're ready to pray? What can you say, or what can you do? And so for all of you out there too, how can you tell me that you're ready to pray without telling me that you're ready to pray?
I can stand up.
Oh, well done, well done, well done.
I can stand up.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask you to do that though. Maybe I'm just going to ask you to sit up a little taller, right? So here you just told me you're ready to pray without telling me you're ready to pray. That was beautiful. I love it. So with that, I'm showing you that I'm ready to pray without telling you that I'm ready to pray, as we continue with the Baruch Hu. Here we go.
Rabbi Eshel, I came up with another way to show that I was ready to pray. Yeah. And it involves what we're about to do, which is to cover our eyes. Then when we cover our eyes, we're either going to bless the candles or we're going to say the words of the Shema. And that's about what we're to join together to do. So I invite everyone watching to just take a deep breath in and just let it out. Let that stress of the week go. This is the moment where we all come together. We're all going to recite the same words at once, which no matter where we are in the United States, where we are in the world, those are the words that connect us as one people. So we're going to close our eyes, take one more deep breath in. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. We join together in the chanting of the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha ubechol nafshecha ubechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadavarim ha'ele
אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
In just a few moments, we're going to see a special video featuring our youth choir. They're going to be chanting for us the words of the Michamocha, our Song of the Sea, our Song of Freedom. And you saw earlier in the slideshow before the service began that there was a flyer for our Shavuot Cantor's concert. So we had the privilege of spending an evening preparing for that and singing with all of my colleagues. We're all fully vaccinated, but it was this moment of freedom that we all sang together our harmonies, and some of us were literally in tears because we have been so restricted and so narrow in our little space, not being able to share music with one another. So as we hear the youth choir sing the words of Micha Mocha, I want you to just think about what is the area that you felt most constricted by, because as we head towards Shavuot, that Mount Sinai moment, I don't think I'm the only one that feels that things in the world are changing, that everything is starting to open up in a safe way, and we're ready for that next part of our journey. So as we prepare to recite our Song of Freedom, I encourage you to think about what are those ways that you're going to feel free. Micha Mocha with our amazing Shir Joy Youth Choir. I think we have a video coming. There we go. You got 2 rabbis for the price of 1 this evening. A little cameo by Rabbi Joel Nickerson, as he points out in our comments. That was a video from early in the pandemic, but it always makes me smile, that video. Rabbi Eshel's still dancing.
You know I can't help myself. You know I can't help myself.
You can't help yourself. You're in the celebrating of Shabbat spirit. And the next prayer that we have, Vishamru, is all about that it is up to us. We are commanded to always celebrate Shabbat. So we're going to join in the words of Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורות המרית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המרית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המרית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המרית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המרית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המרית עולם.
So then I saw not only 2 rabbis, not just 1 rabbi, not just 2 rabbis, Rabbi Nickerson, Rabbi Joel, also Rabbi Ben Naim, she's joining us as well. 3 rabbis for the price of 1. Now this is a fabulous celebration Shabbat. I'll tell you that right now.
That's a lot to celebrate. And the beginning of a joke, I'm sure. What
Probably.
happens when 3 rabbis walk into the service?
Oh man, we also have people joining us from Illinois, which is super cool. Look, this is just so great. We have it from all over the place. I love this, celebrating Shabbat with all of you. Let's continue now. We're going to jump right in, or stand right in. See what I did there with the Amidah, because Amidah means standing. That's why I said stand rather than jump. That would be funny to call this set of prayers the jumping prayers, right? Likfotz. That would be weird. Amidah, a little bit better. Here we go. Let's get Amidah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibur ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
So in a moment we are going to get, but I think I figured out why they don't call it the jumping prayers. Because that, like kfitza, that would be kfitza, because then people would get it confused with kfisa, which means laundry. So they'd be the laundry prayers. And so little Hebrew lesson for the night as well. Kfitza, jumping, kfisa, laundry. So now we're going to take a few moments for the prayers, meditations, thoughts of our heart with a little tfilat halev. Oh, those such beautiful image. It's such a beautiful image, really soothing and warm. I love that. Now we're going to take the opportunity to think about those in our lives, our family, our community who may be in need of healing, whether that's spiritual healing, mental healing, or physical healing. And if you are thinking of anyone today, I invite you to say those names now in your hearts. You can also add them to the chat if you would like, as we continue with the Misha Berach prayer for healing.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
As we all note, tonight's Shabbat is Celebration Shabbat. in the before times, we'll call it the before pandemic times, we would always welcome our birthdays and our anniversaries and our different simchas in our community up to our bima. We would hold a talit over them, and we would bless them in this year of change and development and newness. And in our virtual world, we decided that we didn't want it to be any different. So tonight we are celebrating all of your May milestones. We're holding up that virtual talit over you and blessing you. And we look forward to celebrating you in person someday, hopefully very soon. But here are our birthdays and our anniversaries and our b'nai mitzvah for the month of May. So much celebrating.
I love it.
Celebrating. I think that was some of our April b'nai mitzvah too. So April and May, because I was like, I don't think my Saturdays are that busy. Somebody's gonna have to watch
I couldn't
the
stop
baby.
smiling.
I know all
I
those
couldn't
little.
stop
You see
smiling.
little Declan turning 2, the little baby.
She did too. But then others, Papa mitzvahs that I remember when they were 2.
I know.
Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, swiftly through the days. Right? I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. So Mazel Tov, everyone.
It happened again with the computer. Anyway, so speaking of all these days passing, this is really fascinating. So okay, so when your classmates were going, like looking for opportunities in congregations, is there like a process, like a placement process that some of them go to?
We had like an intern placement.
Intern placement.
Yeah, so we had someone in our school who was in charge for kind of placing you in congregations, or our incredible dean of our cantorial school, Cantor Anchor, kind of has her like ear on the ground of what's happening all over, and she would place people. Same for
So
you?
we also had that at where I went to rabbinical school, the Hebrew Union College, Jewish Institute of Religion. They have a formal placement where people go, like you sign up and they try and do a match, and then you get callbacks, and then people go to different congregations to try and get a nice match and start a life as a congregational rabbi. For me, I didn't go through that process because I was already with Wilshire Boulevard as at camp, and then as an intern and thank God it turned into an opportunity to work full time. But all my friends like went through this process. Now, one of my friends, this was crazy. So my friend went to this, he wanted a small congregation, right? He wanted a small congregation. And so he went to the small congregation in the Midwest. He was very excited, right? This is where he was from. This is where he wanted to be. And super excited. Solo pulpit. So he gets there, and the executive director picks him up at the airport, and just wanted to start driving him around to show him the town. And he's like, oh, this is so cool, this is so beautiful. It feels just like Main Street USA. That's what he was looking for, right? It just really beautiful local shops, and people were out and walking around, and families. And then they drove by where the synagogue is, surrounded by these beautiful hills and trees. And the executive director, she wanted to show him also like the first plots of land that were purchased by the community back in the 1800s, right? Because it's that old, this community, back in the 1800s, right? So what's usually the first thing that when a new congregation, especially back then, what is the first thing that they build? Right? One of the first things they do is they get a cemetery plot, right? And then it's the schools, right? It's to take care of our elders, and then it's the school. So he goes, and she wanted to show him this thing, right? To go to see the cemetery. So they go in there, and she says, actually, there's a section here, all of our rabbis. There's a section in the cemetery that's just for our rabbis. And he was like, wow. That's a lot of kavod. That's a lot of honor to give to the rabbis of the community. So shows him around and she walks with him, and he's like looking, and my friend is like, there's something not right. There's something not right here. So on all of the stones, right? They put the ages of the rabbis. Right, and he saw this rabbi, 38 years. This rabbi, 24 years. 24 years. This rabbi, 70 years. This rabbi, 35 years. This rabbi, 40 years. And he starts sweating. Like, what's going on here? Is this congregation so cuckoo that they're like killing off their rabbis at these young ages? What's going on? And so the executive director sees that he's kind of freaking out a little bit, like sweating. And she's like, whoa. Hold on. Take it easy. I could see that you're kind of like, what's going on here with this? So she said to him, look, those are not the ages of the rabbis when they passed away. No. This one over here where it says that 35, he actually passed away well into his 80s. This one that said, 60, he passed away well into his 80s and 90s, like into his 90s. So he's like, well, what's going on? He said, well, that's actually the number of the years that they truly lived their lives. Not the number of years that they walked this earth, but the number of years that they truly lived their lives. So he starts, what do you mean? So Cantor Lisa, they had this really interesting custom in their synagogue that every Shabbat, right, just before Friday night, like the way we lit our candles all together, and Maddie came on with her family, everyone in the congregation writes down in a notebook how many hours during the week they spent serving God. And serving God to them didn't mean like praying or what, not just praying, but it was also like the way you lived your life, kindness, relationship with people, how you interacted with people, respect at work, treating those who work for you with respect, treating the people who work above you with respect, and back and forth, the way that you lived your life. And then at the end of the week, you add up the number of hours, right? And that's how many days during the week that you truly lived. Then at the end of the month, they add up that number. Then at the end of the year, they add up that number. And then at the end of your life, they add up all those numbers from your book, Cantor Lisa, and they put that on the stone, right? Why am I bringing that up to you now, today? Because we're about to count something right? Very special. We're in the middle of a period known as the Omer, where we are counting the Omer. We are counting the days from leaving Egypt until we got to Mount Sinai to receive the Torah. 49 days, 7 weeks. That's why it's called Shavuot, weeks. So we're asking some of my students, ask, well, why do we count all these days? I says, well, I'm not sure how relevant it is to count the days without counting something else. I said, what do you mean? So like my friend in this story, didn't really happen to a friend of mine, but it sounds better when you tell it in the first person. So what the story was trying to teach us is that, yes, we're going to count our days, right? Our days are numbered regardless. Time is going to pass regardless. So what is the point here? How do you actually create a meaningful life, right? Is by making your days count, right? In counting our days, counting the Omer, counting the time spent from traveling from Egypt to receiving the Torah, right? The complaining and whining of the Israelite people, if they would have just spent their time focused on their idea of freedom, making their days count. The rabbi in the story, making his days for all of us as our time passes, because friends, time is going to pass regardless, but it's what we do with that time that really matters. It's what we do with that time that really matters. So as we count our days, let's focus a little bit more on making our days count. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. And so we can make our days count as we lead up to Shavuot. We're going to say the blessing over the counting of the Omer. As Rabbi Eshel mentioned, we count 49 days, 7 weeks. Once I've said the blessing, then I'll tell you what night we are on. But the Kabbalists of our tradition assign a spiritual element for us to focus on during the week. And this week and this evening is called Yesod Shebe Yesod, which means the foundation of foundation. And what is a foundation? A foundation of your house. It's what keeps the structure. It's what keeps it going. It's what protects you during an earthquake, during trauma. But that foundation, it's hidden. You don't see it. And so what our tradition wants us to look at this week and this Shabbat is, how is our foundation doing? What is in our core? Are we broken in some way? Do we need to fix on that internal self a little bit? The part that not anybody can see, but that really makes us truly who we are and allows us to move through the world, through our life, as vehicles of God's presence. So I encourage you this Shabbat to really think and reflect on your own foundation. Where are there cracks? Where could it be strengthened? So we're about to count the Omer.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sefirat haomer hayom echad ve'arba'im yom shehem chamisha shavuot v'shisha yamim la'omer.
This evening marks the 41st day, 5 weeks, and 6 days of the Omer until we get to Shavuot.
All right. Speaking of Shavuot coming up, I think, we have some fabulous things, some announcements coming up. Do we have the package where we could show some of those cool things? As you saw in the scroll, prior to services starting, there's some beautiful programs coming up. I would suggest check out the website for all the wonderful things coming up, all the different things that we have, all different opportunities we have to be together and learning. And if you're not receiving our emails, make sure you let us know so we can get you back onto the email list so you can get our daily updates of all the wonderful things that are happening at Wilshire Boulevard Temple. And also for those of you who may not be members yet of Wilshire Boulevard Temple, we welcome you to come sign up, join, reach out. We would love to have you and come and make it official and join our beautiful and special community. Cantor, Lisa, do you want to talk a little bit about the special Shavuot thing that's coming up with the
Sure, of course.
concert and
So
the...
Shavuot begins the evening of Sunday, May 16th, and we've teamed up with different communities in Los Angeles as well as different Jewish organizations in Los Angeles to provide a Tikkun LaShavuot that will be kicked off by a 6:30 p.m. Cantor's concert. We have, oh great, there's the flyer. We have cantors from all different communities in Los Angeles, Reform, Conservative, Reconstructionist, and we are all coming together for a virtual concert, all of us singing together, and that will kick off our evening of study. There are going to be starting at 8:30 p.m. all the way to 5 a.m. Different rabbis, different organizations are going to be teaching literally an all-night study. We have Rabbi David Eshel, who's going to be teaching at 8:30 on Zoom. We have Rabbi Joel Nickerson, who'll be teaching at 9:30 on Zoom. And there are even opportunities for those who would like. Temple Beth Am is hosting in-person learning opportunities on their beautiful kind of greenery that they have out there, socially distanced, totally safe. But if you feel like having that in-person connection, Rabbi Susan Nanis will be teaching at 9 p.m. in person at Beth Am, and they have teaching lined up that entire evening in person and then also online. So definitely check out your weekly, check out your daily, and I believe we have a special Shavuot email going out next week just to remind you of all of the different opportunities.
Wonderful. Thank you, Cantor, Lisa. Appreciate that. Okay, so now we're going to take the opportunity to think out those in our lives, and our families and our community who are no longer with us. In a moment, you will see the names and hear the names. The first set of names you will hear are those who have died in this past Shloshim, this past 30 days, followed by the names of those who their yortzeit or their memorial of their death fell during this past week. And then we will come back together. Eli Broad, Lely Cordova, Carolyn Tamar Davidson, Rabbi Morley Feinstein, Len Foreman, Robert Gordon, Marjorie Gould, Louis Lowy, Louis Gerald Miller, Carol Grace Salinas, David Wolf, Dorothy Wright, Pauline Adler, Frank Albert, Ruth Astor, Ida Barkan, Dolph Baum, Louis Bauman, Victor Bahar, Dr. Lester Burko, Donald Burkus, Bert Blauner, Tony Block, Harry Blumkin, Francis Bachneck, Tamar Bornstein, Richard Browerman, Frank Castleman, Mana Cohen, Janet Coleman, Bruce Arthur Devlin, Dorothy Eric, Daniel Feldstein, Esther Feldman, Ben Fenton, Cyrus Fields, Harry Finkel, Regina Fleischer, Lois Jean Foreman, Eleanor Froman, Herbert Ginsberg, Nathan Gitlin, David Goldsmith, Jules Green, Erwin Greenwald, Manuel Green, Joseph Haber, Lillian Harrison, Helen Hendler, Lucille Ermis, Louis Jackson, Ike Jarris, Ralph Kalish, Ruth Karp, Laura Katz, Stanley Kirshner, Selma Klein, Samuel Corin, Milton Krell, Erwin Colwyn, Sidney Laxer, Leonard Lewis, Gisela Lipsky, Lillian Mandel, Kitty Masloff, Beverly Miller, Bernard Mogul, Jonathan Moore, Lillian Moskowitz, Dennis Munjak, Nehemiah Naim, Carol Neubauer, Saul Ornstein, Leon Paris, Pauline Pizer, Robert Peicott, Doris Preston, Toby Price, Gertrude Reed, Inez Reese, Albert Riskind, Ruth Robin, Barbara Rosenfeld, Burton Rosen, Norman Rubin, Anne Schiff, Naomi Schuarger, Michael Center, Selma Cesar, Alexander Shamist, Aline Wheel Speed, Louis Spiegelman, Barbara Steffens, Morris Stone, Charles Strauss, Leonard Strauss, Bernard Tarrin, Florin Tilzer, Sharon Tuman, Betry Turgot, Rhett Turner, Belle Verzee, Dave Volk, Sarah Bordeaux Volk, Emmanuel Weiner, Joseph Weissman, Jerry Werlin, Ruth Wilkes, David Wolf, Albert Zlotnick. We add to those names all of those who have died defending the United States of America. We add to those names all of those who have died defending the state of Israel. We add to those names all of those who have died in senseless acts of terror and hatred around the world. We add to those names those who sadly died in Mount Meron celebrating Lag BaOmer. We add to those names all those who have no one to say the mourner's Kaddish, the mourner's prayer for them. And finally, if you are thinking of anyone else today, I invite you to say those names now in your hearts. You are also welcome to include them in the chat. So with that, we now continue with the mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ומעלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לאל מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen.
We're going to conclude the words of Oseh Shalom, but they're going to be sung to us by our youth choir. What better way to usher us into what we hope will be a future of peace and calm than with the voices of our future of Judaism. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'amo Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'amo Yisrael. Oseh shalom.